Hey there, kids. It's Mr. Simpson here. Going to teach you a lesson about propaganda. You might be asking why I'm wearing this mask. Well, you never can be too safe, and I'm going to show you something in a minute. Now, our lesson's about propaganda. Propaganda is a very important thing for you to understand because lots of people use it to try to persuade you on how to behave and how to think. Now, advertisers use propaganda because they want you to buy their products. So they try to slant something to make you think something is better than the other. Politicians use it all the time. I'm going to be talking about that in the interwar years. And certainly politicians want you to believe that they are better than the other guy. And they use propaganda to do that. Our government uses propaganda in so many different ways. Mainly right now with the COVID health situation, they use it for healthy living and trying to get us to wash our hands and wear masks and whatnot. Because if I was making a public health service announcement by the government, I might wear this mask and say something like, wear this mask.
Or else this is what you'll get. Now, I want you to take a look at this poster. We have a very serious problem with the pandemic, obviously. And think of who this poster is directed at. You, huge letters, are the front line. Now, is this to the general public? And the answer is no. This is geared towards healthcare professionals to be serious, to understand that each and every one of them has a very important responsibility in limiting the infection. Notice how the face is blank. It's nameless. It's not anybody in particular. Notice how the person is erect and standing forward and straightforward and ready to conquer whatever is in front of them. Very confident in their posture. It's a piece of propaganda for a very good thing. Now take a look at this next clip. This is a video clip from, I believe, Thailand. And you'll get the idea. Take a look.
So I'm coming to you at my beach house, and I just wanted to share with you one of my favorite posters of all time from a classic surf movie from the 1960s, The Endless Summer, In Search of the Perfect Wave. This poster was the film poster promoting the movie. It's an advertisement. And look at the nice colors and the dudes chilling out. They got their surfboards and they're out searching. Makes me want to see the movie. I don't know about you. But advertisements are somewhat harmless. I mean, they're just trying to persuade us. Advertisements back in the 1950s are classic examples of propaganda. Let me show you one. Here it comes.
Hi, I'm Mike Wallace with a sensational shortening discovery for better baking and frying. It's Procter & Gamble's Golden Fluffo, the first all-new shortening in 40 years. It's rich. Its color is golden yellow. And what a pie it makes. Richer looking, better tasting, more appetizing. But let's hear what Mrs. Thelma Styra, Indiana State Fair baking champion, had to say about Fluffo.
I love Fluffo. It makes such a golden brown pie.
Oh, man, that's some apple pie.
Well, Mr. Wallace, that's a prettier pie than I ever baked with plain white shortening. And look how flaky it is. This yellow Fluffo is such a short shortening. Makes pie crust so rich.
Like cooking champions, get richer looking, better tasting, more appetizing results in everything you bake or fry.
Where is it? Where's my Fluffo? Man, I am starving for pie. Oh, hey, sorry, I don't know why, but all of a sudden I want to make a pie. Well, you know, those old commercials are pretty funny. And, harmless. So what? Fluffo, right? So what's the big deal about propaganda then? Well, it can be used in such a way to mislead us, to promote a political opinion of one particular person or political party. And one of the most dubious ways in which propaganda is used is when it's used for name calling, to create the belief that one group is so wrong or evil or vicious or whatever, that there has to be some sort of leadership that takes on this task of dealing with them and trying to conquer them and weed them out. And I don't need to tell you that that's precisely what happened in the rise of the totalitarian dictatorships in the 1930s. They used the tools of propaganda to promote their political agenda and to divide people and to cast one group or several groups as enemies of the state. And I'm going to show you a few things now.
Here are a few examples of the type of propaganda posters that came out of the United States leading up to and during World War I. You can see Rosie the Riveter, perhaps the most iconic poster of the World War II period, and the strength that she exudes, and the idea that a strong woman is what's needed in the factories to produce for America. You can also see the idea that the American civilians can grow lots of food and create what's called victory gardens. And here they are promoting that for people to partake in. Or you could see some things like the American soldiers and how in this particular one, Uncle Sam is portrayed as leading this squadron of men into battle, or the Air Force to fight. And then, of course, in this last one, you could see how Hitler himself was depicted. And this is him in absolute brutal format, bloodlusting over France and Romania and Poland and Belgium and Yugoslavia. Not so much anything to do even with the Holocaust yet, just his aggressive militaristic invasions of these territories. So the point is, the United States certainly was very involved in promoting propaganda for our cause. So the question is, how did Hitler and the Nazis use propaganda? Take a look at this poster. You can see a family. The mother and the children, the father are all despondent. There's anger in their faces. Look at the child. The Nazis, in the depths of the Depression, emphasized just how terrible the situation was for German families and how terribly the current government, the Weimar government, was at handling the problems. So they emphasized the problems that the Nazis were, or the Germans in general, were suffering from. And then they provided, in contrast, what would the Nazis do? And you can see in this one, you can see the Nazis are people that are going to build and are strong and will bring back work and will do all kinds of things in a positive economic sense. In the next one, you can see them holding the hammer and showing the strength and how they are, again, workers, and the Nazis are going to put people to work and fix the problems that Germany faces. In other propaganda, you could see how the Nazis tried to appeal to youth. In this first one, you could see this young boy, and he's got all kinds of people behind him, and he's joyful that he's involved in this movement, the Nazi political party, as a movement and as something that would be fun to join. And here, this next one, take a look at this young lady. Just look at the happiness that she's exuding from being part of the Nazis. And in this other one, you could see how they're making the equation between being part of the Hitler Youth Group, that's what the young boy's uniform is equivalent to serving as a soldier for the motherland, and for how this is a type of a training to becoming something greater and something valiant. And it was very appealing to the youth of Germany at the time. Now, the Nazis did not just hold their propaganda campaign on posters. Here you can see film of what were called Nazi rallies, these large political rallies where Hitler and the followers would gather and they would give speeches and they would show their strength. Just take a look at here. In the chaos of the Weimar Republic, the Nazis were showing order and determination and leadership. And these clips are meant to show that they know what they're doing and they are organized and they have a goal and a focus and they are strong, and most importantly, they are massive. It's a mass following. Just look. We'll end with some of the most disturbing Nazi propaganda, the anti-Semitic propaganda, as you can see in these various slides, which I'm not going to discuss the details of these. You can see how hideous they are. And this is when we get to the type of propaganda that is biased and misleading, and it's used to promote or publicize a particular, political cause or a point of view. In this case, a horrific point of view. And this particular type of propaganda is name calling. It's to create a cognitive bias. It's a technique that propagandists use, and the whole idea is to invoke fear in people, expose them to this fear, create this negative opinion about the person or the group or a set of beliefs or ideas, and then promote themselves as the only people or person that can protect people from this particular group or thing. And as you can see here, the Jews are continuously portrayed in horrific ways that Hitler is claiming at the time was a major problem for Germany, not just the international problem, but the Jewish problem in particular, as he called it. And when you get to this type of name-calling propaganda, where a political leader accuses other groups of such hideous and disgusting type of behavior, presenting themselves as the person or the party that can save everybody from this, this is when you get to the type of propaganda that is nasty, nefarious, and used with the very goal of disinformation, of making people believe something that just isn't true. The Nazis were very good at this, and in our current day and age, we need to be vigilant and understand when we're getting an advertisement, which is harmless, a public service announcement, which may be helpful, or a piece of propaganda with a political agenda.